I was growing up, we didn't make our solemn communion, make first communion at 6 years, when we were 6 years old. I remember where I did, and I don't even know whether I committed any sins. I don't think I did.
Okay.
But the solemn communion we made when we were 12 years old. And we sat in the pews in church and wrote our sins down on a little slip of paper so we wouldn't forget. We forgot, we couldn't remember, so we had to write them down. We studied by heart. So we went to confession that day.
Then you went to confession, and then you had your communion.
Then, we wore a whale and all the finery, all. And after we got home, we usually had a nice meal. Grandma had a nice meal. We had candle bearers too. We had a little first grader to carry the candle, carry our candles up to the altar. And our profession of faith was so nice. It was a lot nicer than even, when we had Father Jordan, they did it too.
Why? What kind of profession of faith did you make?
Basil. We went around the found the.
You don't have to go out.
I can't think fast enough. And we sat around the altar, and we sang "Fest soll mein Taufbund immer stehen." In church, the choir, and we had to sing that. And we renewed our vows, but in German. That was all in German. We did that all in German.
Renewed your baptismal vows?
Baptismal vows, all in German. In the afternoon, it was too long. The mass in the afternoon, we had to, we were invested in the scapular, and all that had whispers. It was really solid. Next day, we even didn't have school. We went to church and received communion. We went on home. We had a free day.
Holiday.
Boy.
That's nice.
That was something to treasure. I feel like Mary Jane said one time, it's one of the nicest days of my life that I can remember. When David, when he made his first communion, they didn't make it in bond. See, they had the kids go with the family. But we did. We were, I think we were I'd say about 50 children made the communion. I was always one of the tallest, it was come on.
It didn't last, Grandma. You ended up the shortest.
No, I'm the shortest. When I met some of my classmates, I was the shortest. Later on, they grew after they got out of the 8th grade. I stood still. I didn't grow anymore. I grew in width.
There you go. Well, that's neat to know.
No, come on with your question.
I wanted to know also about, Grandma just told us how they used to make their communions. What about, let's see. Like, how did you used to celebrate weddings and funerals as opposed to how they do them now?
They're terrible. They're gross to remember. In those days, they always cried hard when somebody was buried. They don't do that anymore.
Well, it's
We had all night wakes, all night long.
But the people that were in the houses,
the bodies were kept in the house. You were scared half to death to go into that room.
Tell them how they kept them cool in the summertime.
With a couple of eyes underneath. They weren't embalmed. They couldn't keep them. They had to bury them right away, or keep eyes, and also eyes in the casket inside.
Let's do that.
And they had
lots of money.
they had them in the separate room. Nobody could go in when it was hot. We could not go in the room to have to wake. We had it in a different room.
Well, that's because of the smell.
It got too hot in there. Sometimes it smelled pretty bad too. It did.
It's gonna be like a documentary here.
Yeah. There's one of our aunts. One of our aunts. She died suddenly of a heart attack. She was pretty heavy. It was in July, I think. They kept her though longer than they should have. It was awful.
Really?
You couldn't even hardly get in the house. That's how bad she smelled. But just remember if they're not embalmed. But we had wakes all night long.
Stand over by Grandma. Stand over by Grandma.
We couldn't tell any stories either years ago. You had to pray all the time.
So you
You
didn't
fell
pray.
asleep, they woke you up when you fell asleep. Had to go ahead and pray. Later on it was a little different. When we grew older, we told some stories in different rooms.
And you visited and things.
And we had lunch all night long. We had coffee and sandwich and lunch all night long. That's the only way you could keep awake. You couldn't keep awake.
How many days did that go on that you had all night wake? Just one night or?
Oh no, sometimes 3 nighs. after they were embalmed. Aunt Josie, when she died, and they were waiting on her to come home. I think we had her 3 days and 3 nights. The third day she was buried, 3 nights. The third day she was buried, when we came home from the cemetery, he arrived.
Oh my.
Then what?
When we came home from the cemetery, Iggy arrived. He came home.
Oh, that's too bad.
And but we had, I was up, I didn't sleep a wink. I kept the kitchen going, the food and everything. I was in the kitchen all the time. But when I got home, no, that wasn't it. I don't think it was when Aunt Josie died. It was my Aunt Susan when she died. And Agnes and I, we were occupied there. And it was during Lent. There you weren't allowed to eat meat, like the good Lord, the chickens could almost lay the eggs fast enough.
Oh, because you had a bunch of eggs.
Yes, fried eggs and potatoes. We fixed the meals, and Agnes was gone into it.
Oh, he did.
And she said their stove didn't work. They had one of those that you pumped up, you know, and it didn't work quite right. She had matches all the time. She said, Minnie, you just go ahead and fry the eggs. I strike matches sweet. We'll fry the eggs sweet.
Gosh. Oh my God.
It wasn't all serious.
We had fun too. Yeah, I still remember when Grandpa died, and all these women, I don't know where they got the black from in such a hurry, but all these women, and every time somebody would come into that house over on 19th Street, they'd kneel in the middle of the floor and start praying a rosary all over again. Everybody would cry, and all this black that smelled like mothballs kept coming in.
Sure, we always had mothballs.
Yeah, up the town that when Grandpa was laid out. See, we had him so long too. We kept him from. We didn't have to put him out. He died on Saturday morning.
Sounds like a salami, you know.
He was buried on Wednesday. But
Salami.
Didn't put him out first.
That's sick, Grandma. Okay, keep going.
That's the way you say it, Cheryl.
that's the way it is. Anyway, so you know, it took a lot, but the kids all helped. It took a lot of food. I mean, but oh yeah, the people brought in the food, and Aunt Katie, she helped with putting the food up. And when the doorbell rang, he said, "Hey, I'm not leaving. Maybe there's some good food coming in again." Every time the doorbell rang. Every time the doorbell.
Better than the one that you had in the refrigerator.
Yeah, that's right. And it was the first 3 meals, I think, but you brought orange and trees, and Leonard brought a ham and coffee. When everything was over, we had 7 pounds of coffee left.
How much?
11 pounds.
They brought so much coffee.
So much coffee at that time, it wasn't so expensive.
Wow.
And cakes, and I was going to divide, and they said, no, you just keep it, we'll come back.
Which one? Foley
Remember it was
Bubs?
Halloween and
Well,
you
you
guys
start
had trick or
drinking
treat down
lighter ones
there.
Yes.
way up or heavy?
Larry Larry and Mike put on a magic show for us. They entertained us, all of us younger cousins, and they used to they'd light matches and swallow them, make the fire go out.
Well, those were the only ones, Mike and Larry, too, when Grandpa was still alive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They were all home one time on Sunday. Well, Monday morning I went down to wash. Here I want to snap light on
I
the
can always
light.
get some set.
So I went up and I said, Nick, you better come down or call somebody. I said, there's something wrong downstairs. Well, he came down, he tried. He said, well, maybe it kicked out or something. I said, I don't know, and I can't get anything. And they had turned all the bulbs to scare the other kids. They had to scare the other kids. Yes, they said, the bulbs.
Go stand next to Grandma.
She went round to check and turned in here. Don't do it. Flipped on the other. It was all right.
That's neat.
That's neat.
Yeah.